Good morning, guys. Okay, so what happened is prices now moved into our little sell zone from yesterday, and actually from last week. We've been patiently waiting for this entire zone. So now that we're in there, it's a good time to start loading up on those shorts. But there's one cautionary tale. There's always a but with trading because there's two parties always wrestling it out. And it is this pivotal support, or this tipping point for Bitcoin to remain bearish or to turn bullish, which is sitting at 87 to 60, thereabout. Okay. Now I want to show you where I'm getting that level from. And then I also want to kind of explain to you guys how to trade that long should we regain that level. So if we flip bullish, it means price is going to be above it, how to get about that, and so forth. Okay, so let's see. Over to the comments. Hello, Stanku. Hello, Renee. Hope you guys are well. And for everybody else, Idu, good morning to you as well, my friend. So everybody else joining in, let's get some trades. So now that we're in the sell zone, I hope you guys have taken your shorts or started thinking at least about taking shorts if you haven't. I know the stop is quite wide. Remember, this is a 4-hour swing trade, so it's not like a 15-minute trade. If you want tighter stops, this is where you need to join my Discord. It's simple as that. That's where I trade live with everybody, and I give more in-depth, tighter analysis, and I share the trades that I take there. So it's simple as that. There's many ways you can do that. Links in the video description. But if you have not loaded in on your short, you can now start using these highs at around these levels or the buddy indicator to kind of position yourself in this area for another short. The tipping point would be is if the short fails. Now, the big thing is, how would that look? Well, we would probably need to go make a higher high. So for me, normally what I would say is, as long as the market, and maybe now would be a good time for me to just remove some of the old brushes. Okay, so as long as the market remains bearish, what it wants to do is it denies the ability for price to go make a higher high. Okay. Once we go above it, we start going into a lateral range, or maybe it almost can feel like a fuck you market, because if you go long when it's bullish, it stops you out and says fuck you. Then if you want to go short, it stops you out and says fuck you. This is this doji kind of choppy market that we hate as traders. But in the end of the day, something that we need to navigate. So just be mindful that those things are there. So back to the point. This area would be a good place to hit that short. You can use the buddy indicator to start driving in some nice short areas. So the buddy is telling you it's already light blue. So we are moving into an accumulation consolidation phase. None of this is bullish, guys, on the 15 minutes. So wherever we are, it's not bullish at the moment. So wait for an SO2 now to fill and for the candle override for the buddy indicator to change, and that should hook you out. If you look at this from a 4-hour point of view, you can see that the buddy is saying that we're still consolidating. So this is not trending. That's why it's hard to trade this at the moment. Okay. Now, worst case scenario, let's say worst case scenario, the short fails. How would that look? Well, this pivot comes from the daily analysis. So let me take away the setups and clean the screen for you guys so that I can show you where that comes from. So if we look at the daily time frame for Bitcoin, and I'm going to take that away as well, daily time frame, we've got strong bullish divergence on the daily, and it's been there now for a couple of days, obviously. But just like when we look at a daily analysis, so let's do a fib. I want to show you a fib that is for strong divergence. Okay. So you move it to the low, you move that one to the high of the pivot there. Okay. And what did I do wrong here? Let me just get my right one. There we go. Boom. Okay. Something went wrong there, guys. Sorry. There to the low and to the high. Okay. So strong bullish divergence and the prediction that statistically it happens within those ranges means that the market now needs to regain the price point at the pivot. Okay. So for this exchange, it's sitting right there. So we've had this scenario where the market is falling, failing. Now, if I scale this up a little bit higher, the weekly time frame, what do we have? Okay. We've got that 50-point 50% of the wick that kind of just fights the whole area. So it means that this whole range is going to be littered by sellers. Okay. I'm just going to move that into a sell zone. So if I scale this now back to a 4-hour time frame, it means we're entering an area where the market needs to decide and a side needs to win. It's as simple as that. And this was what makes trading hard right now. So I think you all can feel like that your stops maybe get hit more often, and the price will just go beyond a certain stop and then turn and then still go in the direction that the setup kind of pointed. And it's purely because we're in that kind of environment. Now, why am I shorting this? Let's end that there. Why do I think maybe to remain short? Well, simple. Retail will be looking at this and say to themselves, okay, the trend is clearly still bearish because we have not broke out of the trend line or the momentum. I say not trend, it's momentum. It gives you some valuable insight. Okay. Second thing is, as we've reached this area, you can clearly see we've got hidden bearish divergence on this pivot. That's the reason I'm using that as my invalidation, and I'm using that as the argument to put the higher high in. Okay, so the basis is on the 4-hour you can remain bearish for as long as we don't get a higher high. So I mean that's a wide range, 42. But it allows me now to say that anytime we move in this range is to jump into a smaller time frame. So then you can go into the 15-minute. Okay. And once you're in the 15-minute, you can use the same bearish setup to look for within this wave a correction to take the short to drive things lower. Now, this kind of breakout, and this is now that bullish kind of thing with a pivotal point, okay, can be met with two kind of things, okay. An extreme amount of buying, okay, meaning it literally makes one big candle around that. Then I will lean to the bullish side and almost abandon the bearish notion. But if it keeps on chopping, it's that typical shakeout, fake out before the real breakout, which means it goes up, takes everybody out, then dumps to take all the long players out, goes and makes a lower low with yet another strong bullish divergence, and then runs, and now nobody wants to buy there. So the bus is empty and the market moves. Remember, the bus needs to be empty, guys. If it's thick, it doesn't want to work, you know. There are a lot of people in there, doesn't want to get up the hill. Okay, so simple as that. Okay, so now you have the idea, you know what you do, you've got your playbook ready. Okay, so let's sum this thing up for you guys in short. Okay, between 87 and 84 is a tipping point for Bitcoin to remain, for it to turn bullish. Okay. Clearly, it's still bearish. Between this, then, we could have a scenario that from where we are right now at 86 all the way to 92, there will be bullish shakeouts or bull traps, bearish shakeouts, bull traps. And you can use that on lower time frames, and you can use the buddy indicator to look for short there. Okay. And then from that point onwards, if the market then does sell down and make that lower low, which the weekly still kind of tells me it wants to do, because there's nothing bullish about the weekly. It still maybe wants to go test that range at 72. You're golden. You're in your move. Okay, that's it. Now, guys, if you want to join my Discord, well, let's put it like this. If you want access to the buddy indicator, because the buddy indicator makes life so much easier, so much simpler. Let's have a look at what the buddy indicator has done in the last day or so. So I'm going to go back to the 15-minute. Okay. So very simple. What it is telling you is the colors are light blue. Okay. If we go to the 4-hour, the colors are light blue. So if you go to the Discord and you go and have a look at what it says when the colors are light blue on the 4-hour, very simple. You go to the trade guide. It's the buddy indicator trade guide. We're in a bear market at the moment. Well, no, light blue, sorry. Go back. We're in a lateral range. You want to learn more? Light blue and orange are lateral ranges. Okay, so we're in a lateral range. Okay, then what are we buying? Well, we are buying a continuation of a bearish move. So it is greed. Okay, right? And then it says these markets move in random fashion. Most traders wreck themselves here trying to make reason out of the chaos. Trade probabilities are low as these conditions always occur once price approaches the middle of a range. Okay, so there's no trade setups there. So if I head over back to the buddy indicator, you can see, look at how many setups really played out. So I'm going to go back to the 15-minute. It made profit for you. A lot of short opportunities, they all failed. Boom, 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 boom. Hence the fact that you should not use it. Now, if you want that indicator and the guidance that comes with it, because it makes life easier, because now you're guessing, should I take it? Should I not take it? Clearly, the market is telling you not to take it. If you want the indicator, very simple, open your Bybit account. There it is on the screen. Links in the video description. Is very simple. Once you have your Bybit account open, okay, deposit some trading capital, because obviously you're going to trade there, right? And take that trade so that the bot knows that you did activate the account completely. Okay. Then you can head over back to the Discord. You can go right to the top there in the navigation button, and you can go to either buddy indicator or wherever, and you can just say, I used Bybit to gain access to it. You type in your Bybit user ID here. Bybit has built the bot for me in the Discord. Then it goes and looks and see if you've done everything. And if it's sorted, it gives you access, and all these channels, or most of these channels, will appear. Channels like this one where I trade live, and channels like that trader guide, so that it can help you with the buddy indicator. It's as simple as that. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks so much. 11 minutes. I think I've made it done. Let's head over to the comments. If there's any questions or anything now, guys, drop them in the comment section. Even if you're not doing it live, I do reply to the comments. So if there's anything and you're watching the recording later on, more than welcome to do so. So let's start off with the first one. Peter's brought it up. Okay, let's see. How do I join your Discord? Following you for years now, and I love your content. By the way, watch it regularly. Afi, cheers, buddy. I think I just answered that. Let's see what else we have. I do my own TA. I've noticed for years you're more aligned to the way I think. Look, it's dangerous. What I try and look to say is we tend to want somebody that agrees with us, but you know, whether I'm right or somebody else is right is actually irrelevant. What we should just try and do with technical analysis, and this is maybe a little bit more mindset than anything else, is just, I want to make money. So if I've got a setup that tells me I need to go long now, and my gut tells me it's short, if the setup sticks to all the rules that the setup gets laid out with, I'm going to take that long in any case, because I just want to make money. So that's the important thing, or a big takeaway there, Afi, I would say. Let's see what else we've got. Chris, hello to you. YouTube user, do you think the top is in for the cycle? No, I think the bottom is in for the retrace. And because we're looking at the way that we're moving in on the daily, and I will expand a little bit more on this in this afternoon's huddle stream. You've got a scenario where the alts are now starting to slowly but sure give bottom signals. Come on, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Look at Ethereum. Did a low. It's in that continuations, in that buy area for the long. Okay. It's in my investment zone that I shared with everybody in the huddle side in the private Discord group. Okay. So you're getting bottom signals everywhere. It's just the problem is at this stage, Bitcoin has not reclaimed 87, but time will tell whether we reject there or reclaim it. And that little voice in the back of my head says maybe the bottom is in. And bottom in doesn't necessarily mean we won't go 74 or something, but it means that a shakeout will be quick, or it will be like a secondary test, and then we will run like that. Okay. Would you sell a bag of Ondo to buy back around 60 cents? Dreamcatcher, that is for the Discord, my friend. Head over there, ask that question there. I can chart and give you that answer. Let's see. I need a new setting on the buddy indicator, the FU market setting. Well, that's when it's light orange and light blue. That's probably the FU market there. But okay. Thanks so much, guys, for taking the time joining in live with me. If you're new to the channel, hit me a like, hit me with a like, hit me with a subscribe. Drop me a comment. I'd like to see where you're at. Join the Discord. Come join the community there. And I'll see you this afternoon with a little bit of a bigger investment look on where I think Bitcoin could be long term. Remember, no financial advice. I'm just sharing what I would do. Okay, cheers, guys.